Hello and welcome back to Card Kingdom's Rags and the Riches 3, The Last Crusade, but not the last tournament. I got you that time, beat you to it. I'm your host, Josh Monks, joined in the booth by Casey Hogan, and we got a backup match for round 3 coming at you live. We're going to head down there now. So,
Josh, what are we seeing down here?
I did not get to look at the decks, but it looks like we've got the Jeskai deck.
Okay.
Very fun, very big fan of this deck. Plays a lot, it comes into play effects and a lot of ways to bounce them back to your hand, and then why not play Kuldotha Rebirth and make a bunch of tokens as well. Oh, I did, and then I gave it to Shamans. Sorry.
Seeing Sam Nelson, who looks like he's resleeved.
Yeah?
With
You're right,
Chandra
yeah.
sleeves.
Yeah.
That's just distasteful. We have the players reversed. I see. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, we'll let our
Sean,
spotter
we
know
have
that
the
we've
names
got
flipped.
the names flipped here. Antonio, actually on your left here, playing that Kuldotha Jeskai deck. So this deck, we're seeing some of the cards now. Looks like the general plan is he double sleeved?
I think he might be. Those sleeves look very big.
No, that is in any case. So, we've seen this deck on camera a bunch, but the general game plan is get a bunch of artifacts out that replace themselves or do things, sacrifice them in some way, or return it to your hand so that you can get more value out of them. And generally just kind of flop your hands up and down the whole time. Looks right?
That is very correct. That is
Right.
how I would describe it. And then also some burn to finish off the matches.
Okay.
You also have Core Skyfisher, or not Core Skyfisher, yeah, Core Skyfisher, right?
First guy, Fisher, and Glinthawk.
Yeah, and then Glinthawk, which both return artifacts to your hand, so you get to draw from them again, as well as having 2 power in the air. So
That's right.
they can close out games pretty quickly, and then followed up with a Galvanic Blast or a Lightning Bolt. You can get people dead pretty quick.
That's right. The ability to go either up or around the
Coming in.
He's got a third Kuldotha Rebirth.
2 main, 1 side.
That's right. And I think I like this in the matchup as well. Lets him go around. Lets him get fast value out of his artifacts, which do things when they leave the battlefield. He's got a Bajuka Bug, which is fine, I suppose.
So
Sam, we know Sam not be playing. Our audio. No, my audio is coming in.
yeah, it sounds like our audio just shut down for a second there. It sounds
Very
like it's back up. Guys,
Okay.
if it's not back up, please spam chat. I know that if the audio's dead, then you can't hear us. But if you can hear us, also spam chat.
That's right.
Give us the Mingli if you can hear us.
The what now?
The Mingli, that's currently my favorite Twitch emote.
Mingli.
Twitch chat, if you can hear us, please spam us with your favorite Twitch emote.
Yes,
and
I'm for that.
just to make sure that we can be heard. Our voice is out there.
It's important.
The Kappas and the Frankerzes need to know.
Yeah, I can see, in any case.
Yeah, the audio gain is picking up, but if it's not being broadcasted to Twitch and you guys can't hear us,
That's just silly. What's the
that's
point?
that. Yeah.
So Antonio, I'm going to go forward assuming that people can hear me. Antonio looks like he kept his opening hand. Sam going to 6 here with Deliberation, as we know he is wont to do.
Really likes mulliganing. Who doesn't like mulliganing?
You get to draw 6 brand new cards. What other thing lets you draw 6 cards at a time?
Usually I just mulligan so I get to scry one. So we're finally getting them Twitch emotes in.
Okay. I like...
Got some Smork.
Oh, I got the heart. What is a smork?
Space Marine Orc. It's
Okay.
I don't know what the exact origin of it is. I believe it's StarCraft, but
Okay,
it's
okay.
if you played the very linear class and just tried to kill your opponent's base, you were playing the Smork deck. It's equivalent to Burn, I suppose.
Okay, that's
It's
valid.
been taken over by Hearthstone for Smork Hunter is the Face Hunter deck. That's the Burn deck before that.
Okay, I see where you're at. Sam going to bottom his scry from his mulligan. Starts it off with an Island of Pass. Follows up with a Forgotten Cave. Now, generally, you don't want to play the cycling lands. You want to cycle them, right?
Well, if they're in your opener, you usually want to play them early because you're okay hitting your first 5 or 6 land drops before you start cycling those lands away.
Okay.
And it coming into play untapped, or having a land to come into play untapped later is a pretty big deal sometimes, so it's pretty worth it. There we go. Got our first Mingli in the chat.
Oh, that guy's pretty great. Okay, 10 stars would be 9. I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Elf Archer.
You're welcome. You know, we're trying to get people better at Magic
Yeah.
as well as Twitch, so.
In the meantime, Antonio has deployed an Ichor Wellspring, draws a card upon entering the field and leaving the field.
However,
Sam annulled it. And
0.
This is the Urza's Annul.
Yes.
Which, I guess now that I look at it, I do kind of like the Mirrodin Annul a little better. I'm embarrassed to say it.
Yeah. And so, our Antonio is just going to play a tap land and pass. Sam is going to not deploy a third land, leave up Counterspell for the next consecutive turn.
That's right.
Let's see what happens. Antonio draws a Galvanic Blast, has a bunch of Pyroblast in hand,
So many of these.
but not a lot of lands. Let's see if this Glenhawk Idol is going to resolve. He's going to be able to bounce that artifact land back to his hand and then play it for effectively no cost.
If Sam has something like a,
We got a Remove Soul coming down. Looks like this is going to get Pyroblasted. I'd like to counter your Counterspell, please. Get it out.
I can't imagine what it must have been like back in the day when you cast a Remove Soul on a creature and then you're putting a Pyroblast in it. That just it seems strange in the Legacy context, which I know Pyroblast to be in, to get a Remove Soul Pyroblast out.
Absolutely.
Sam finds his third land. Means he's going to have Exclude as well as Counterspell ability.
Yes. Both of them are Pyroblastable, though. We got a swing in for 2. Sean, can you get him to move the pad down a little bit, or can you do it so it's on screen? Do you see what I mean? No. So it's on screen.
We'll have it looks like a follow-up Glinthawk going to return Ancient Den. Now, Antonio had a Exclude. Now that's a juicy Pyroblast target.
Yeah, I would much rather Pyroblast that than Remove Soul.
Perfect, all right.
Yeah,
We
there
see
we
the
go.
player's life totals fully on camera now.
Slid the pad over just a little bit. We're going to see another Pyroblast, get rid of that Exclude, another Glinthawk Idol coming down. The problem is, though, is these Glinthawk Idols are bouncing lands. They're not bouncing extra value from an Ichor Wellspring or
That's right.
a Pentad Star, Chromatic Star. I can never remember the name of that card.
Looks to
Prismatic Lens?
Prismatic.
There we go.
Prism. Prophetic Prism.
Prophetic. God,
Prismatic Lens,
I know that card. I really like the art on that card. It's one of my favorites. Oh, so it looks like Antonio forgot to bounce a land to his hand off that second Glinthawk Idol.
That's right. We've got the judge on the table now making a ruling as to whether the trigger was missed, what to do if so, and then moving forward from there.
I'm fairly certain that if the trigger is missed, Sam is allowed to let Antonio put the trigger on the stack or not. In this case, going to let him put the trigger on the stack, and Antonio will then resolve it and bounce the land back to his hand.
The question is whether Glinthawk has a default action. It's similar to if in your upkeep you forgot to discard a card in Master Core. It
Yeah.
says at the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card.
If you don't sacrifice it, yeah. I'm pretty
Something like
sure
that.
that it says when it comes into play, do one of 2 things.
If it involves making a choice, then that's a different thing altogether. And here we see the judge delivering his ruling. And that's
Oh, it looks like the ruling is default action occurs,
there it
sacrifice
is.
happens.
all right.
Too bad for Antonio, really losing out on his 2-2 there. And Sam's going to hit his land number 4 and pass the turn back. No play, so he's just leaving up Counterspell.
Drawing
Ichor Wellspring.
a second artifact for Antonio means that his Galvanic Blast is about to become online.
Absolutely.
And we'll see if this gets counterspelled as well. It's now having burned through 2 Glinthawks, counterspelling this seems less effective. We want to save it for the big burn spells
Absolutely. That's what I think is going to happen.
to protect your threads.
So those of you guys asking about Reality Acid, that is one of my favorite decks in the format. It just feels very sweet.
Yeah, I think I would love to get something like that under the lights pretty soon.
I feel like the Jeskai deck is the better iteration of it, but Jeskai, Kuldotha Jeskai is just not as fun to play as Reality Trip.
Yeah, the Acid Trip deck is way sweeter.
It scores very high on the sweetness scale, which is important to me, especially in a format like this that's relatively undiscovered, so playing the best deck isn't a huge loss.
That's right. And like having very strong fundamentals means players are going to be more.
So we got a Core Skyfisher coming down. It's going to get Remove Sold. No Pyroblast this time, so no extra value from Antonio. Just a swing for 2, putting Sam down to 14. And you know, Antonio has about almost 12 damage in burn in his hand. If he hits another artifact, he'll be able to play the. Oh, I guess he only has 2 Galvanic Blast? I thought he had 3.
You know, he actually sandbagged that Great Furnace once to protect the information. Sam's likely to play completely differently if he knows that his life total is effectively 4 fewer than he thought.
Yeah, Metalcraft. Seeing the Metalcraft changes the way you view how much damage your opponent can do in one turn, for sure.
Preordained sees a split, finds a 5th land.
Looks like he decided to keep the land, get rid of the other card. Is that correct?
I think that's right.
Draws to Swiftwater Cliffs. I imagine he's going to play that land as it comes into play tapped. So.
Brings his life total to an even number. And the mono blue control deck doesn't really have any flash creatures that Antonio's going to want to interact with. And basically gets to play with perfect information as to Sam's permanence.
Absolutely.
Is relevant. The more I see this game unfold, the more I like the play of turn 1 Ancient Den Glinthawk go.
Yeah, just the value. I'm going to hit you for 2 every single turn until the game ends.
Yeah, Sam can't interact with it until turn, 5,
Yeah.
and that's 10 damage.
Yeah, I
Or
think
8
I think
damage.
turn 3 is the earliest if he casts a 2/4. I'm going to go ahead and reveal Trip Galvanic Blast for 12 damage while you're tapped out.
No.
And Antonio's going to take game 2 real quick.
What happened? I feel bad laughing.
Yeah, that was so unexpected.
Yeah.
That was a huge amount of damage in one turn out of that Kodoka deck.
You convinced me that he had 2 Galvanic Blasts as well.
Yeah, I thought that he did. I thought that I counted 3 and then miscounted
Yeah.
and assumed I must have been like, oh, one of them was a
there it is.
Pyroblast. I guess he used it already. I was wrong. There was
Yep.
3. There was 3 all along. 12 points of damage and 3 cards. So that was round 3. That was our backup match. Did you see how much time left in the round? Yeah, I didn't either. 15 minutes.
left.
All right, I think we got time. We'll be able to try and find a backup match. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back, try and find you a backup match. If not, we'll be live with round 4 in about 15 minutes. Stay tuned, guys. We will try to be right back.